Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So happy to have you guys here for another huge, pretty decently big coloring book haul, as well as some art supplies as well. I have definitely been gathering items, been so lucky enough to have some things sent to me, lots of happy mail gifts, and I'm just super excited to show you another round of what I've been collecting for my coloring book journey. So stick around and we'll go through some of this stuff. Alright guys, as always, I particularly love to start with the coloring books because that's the funnest part for me. So these next few books we found, I say we, me and my mom found at Barnes & Noble. So I picked up Disney Dreams Collection by Thomas Kincaid Studios. This is the Disney book that has on one side the image done in Thomas's oil painting, and then the line art that they've created for that image. So it's pretty detailed and tiny, but I have seen a few people do their versions with coloring pencils, and I still think they turn out very beautiful. So I'd love to try and see what I can do with these tiny little areas and shading and any type of Disney book. Coloring in a Disney book always makes you super happy, so I picked up that. Next up is Romantic Country by Eerie. I did find this at Barnes & Noble. It does have the sleeve on it. I'm not sure if there's copies without the sleeve or not, but I'm sure most of you have seen Romantic Country. The art in here is very sweet and girly and simple, but still so beautiful. Once again, I've seen almost every coloring book I've picked up. I've seen on YouTube, hauled on YouTube, or a color along on YouTube that has inspired me to want to color in it myself. So this is Eerie Romantic Country, a fantasy coloring book. And last book we found at Barnes & Noble was Eerie Romantic Country, the second tale. So both of her books were at Barnes & Noble, and I was super excited to see them there. So I didn't have to wait for Amazon delivery. I just got them that day. And I couldn't decide between 1 and 2, so I just picked up both of them. Same art style, of course. Very, very cute. I can't decide which one I like best. I feel like I've seen more colorings in the first book, but this one does have some beautiful, beautiful images, and I am so excited to color in this book. And this one is Post Office. I should color that for my dad. But yeah, so this is Eerie's Romantic Country, the second tale. And once again, those 3 books we found at Barnes & Noble. The next book I have to share with you guys, I actually found at my Walmart in the magazine section. The Walmart I was at still had a magazine section, surprisingly. And it's my second Coloring Haven book, and this one is The Fairies Special, Ethereal Fairy Designs by Jana Proservarina. Probably not pronouncing that right. And this is just fairies this time. The other Coloring Haven special I have is Dark Fantasy. If you watched my last coloring haul, you would have seen that one. I still haven't colored in that one yet, but it's more of the same beautiful girls, but this time they're fairies. So definitely into this. Really cool dragon. I always, if there's a magazine section now, I always like to check it out to see if there's any special Coloring Havens that I might want to snag. So, Coloring Haven Fairies Special, and that one we found at Walmart. Now the next 2 books are extra special. I received from some of my Twitch viewers. There's a few things in here that were actually Happy Mail that were kindly and generously sent to me by my viewers over on Twitch. So thank you so much if you've ordered anything off of my wish list and sent it to me that is to do with my newly obsession with coloring. But this one is Magical Dawn. I am growing my Hannah Carlson collection book by book. So this was once again purchased for me from my wish list by a viewer. I am so happy to own this one. Magical Dawn is a beautiful book. I am having a hard time deciding now if I like this one or Daydreams more. Once again, I'm sure you guys have seen flip-throughs of all of Hannah's books. They're wildly popular, and why I was so excited to get my hands on another one. After coloring in Daydreams, which you'll see when I do my finished coloring pages, I kind of got obsessed with Hannah's art style and her coloring books, and I was like, all right, I'm putting them all on my wish list and I will collect them all eventually. And once again, my kind viewers on Twitch have been so generous to help me grow my collection. So Magical Dawn by Hannah Carlson. And next one is Seasons, which is another Hannah Carlson coloring book, which was also kindly bought for me from my wish list by another viewer. They probably have heard me, you know, rave about the Daydreams book, and I am so happy that they decided to send me more of Hannah's books, because ooh, a spider, a spooter. I'm terrified of spiders, but that one is no exception. Yeah, so Seasons is a little less, probably my third favorite now of the three that I have. But no less, I'm still excited. Lots of really pretty images. All of Hannah's books have beautiful images in them. So once again, that was Seasons by Hannah Carlson. And I'd also like to mention I do have, I just didn't bring it over here, but her postcard Winter Dreams coloring book as well, that was kindly sent to me along with Magical Dawn. So huge thank you to the kind people who have sent me some coloring books, as well as certain supplies as well that I'll show you. I'm gonna get into a lot of the coloring supplies I've once again accumulated over a span of time. So to start, I will show you what I picked up at Blick in person. We have a Blick studio near where I live, and I went and checked it out and found a few goodies. My main purpose was to find the Polychromos open stock so I could try them out before I take the dive into investing in the full set. So I did create my own. I could have bought the 12 set, but I wanted to kind of pick my own 12 pencils that I thought were beautiful and really interested in trying. So just really quickly, I'll run through which shades I decided to grab. I grabbed Ivory. It's probably gonna try and roll away from me. I grabbed Earth Green. Middle Cadmium Red. Sorry, there's a glare on the pencils. They're so shiny. I grabbed Burnt Ochre. Hopefully I'm in frame here. Sanguine. Brown Ochre. Light Magenta. Light Cadmium Red, which is showing up so orange on the camera, but it is definitely a red orange. Cinnamon. Magnese Violet. The gold on the pencils is quite hard to read. Coral. And last but not least, Indian Red. So definitely a neutral palette with a few nice colors. I tried to pick things that I felt like I didn't really see too many of in my polychromo or my Prismacolor set, or that, you know, I've just seen on different color alongs. I haven't got to play around with these too much yet, but I will, and I will make my final decision of whether or not I want to take the plunge into buying the full set. But just touching them and feeling them, I really do think that they're gorgeous pencils and something I want to invest in the future. So I did pick up 12 of those, and also at Blick they sell individual Posca pens. So I did just pick up a Posca pen in slate. Where's the color? Slate gray in the 5M size. Does this have autofocus? There we go. Yeah, so I want to just do backgrounds in my coloring books with this, because I've seen that it's a very beautiful color. I also picked up a single Zig Clean Color Reel brush in the shade pale pink. So it's kind of just like a water calligraphy pen brush. But yeah, they also sold these open stock, so I wanted to test those out. One last thing I purchased from Blick was these Faber-Castell 15-piece gelatos. And this is the metallic set. So I do want to mention that I will be showing swatches of everything at the end of this video. If you want to stay tuned for that, if you want to see what these look like swatched out, I am going to swatch everything you see. I just wanted to keep everything in the package for the video, and then I'll go ahead and film the swatches afterwards and add that at the end. So this is the metallic set. I also got these for backgrounds in my coloring books. I have no idea how to use them, but I will watch YouTube tutorials and learn, because I think that they're very beautiful. So gelatos by Faber-Castell metallics. That's everything that I picked up at Blick, but I also stopped at Michael's and used a 50% off coupon for the gelatos in the pastel range. So these were the original ones I had my eye on, but Blick only had the brights and the metallics. So I went with the metallics while I was at Blick, and then stopped at Michael's and saw that they actually were offering the pastel set, which is what I originally wanted. So I used my 50% off coupon on another pack of these. So now I have quite a few. Well, it's actually not 15. It's just 15-piece set, because I think there's a brush and another goodie in there, because it looks like there's only 12 actual colors. But yeah, this one actually says the shades. Once again, this will be swatched at the end of the video, and hopefully you will see some backgrounds in my future coloring pages that I show. So next up, I'm going to show you the things I found at Walmart, which surprisingly, it's a hit or miss whether your Walmart may have a really good craft section or maybe not so stocked. The one by my house isn't very great, but I was in a different area and they actually had quite a few things. So I just picked up this Papermate Flare Felt Tip Special Edition Retro Accents. So 12 felt tip pens, they're 0.7 mm. I haven't ripped these out of the packaging yet, but I will swatch these and see what they look like. It's just, you know, kind of a bright pastel, I would call it. Very cute. This was relatively inexpensive at Walmart. I can't remember the prices off the top of my head, but I do know that I went to Michael's right afterwards, and a few of the things I bought at Walmart, they were offering at Michael's for a much more expensive price. So Walmart definitely has some deals on pens and art supplies if you can find it. So I would definitely check the office supply section at your Walmart and see what they have. This, like I said, was relatively inexpensive for this pack, and then the same pack at Michael's was, I want to say, twice as much. So Walmart seems like a really good place. Like I said, hit or miss, but definitely check yours. I'm excited to swatch these and see how vivid or if they bleed or not. But I will show you guys that at the end of the video. Next up from Walmart, I found the Big Intensities in just the fine. They also carried the ultra fine, but it was the same range of colors, and I didn't feel like I needed to pick up both immediately. I wanted to just try out the fine range and see how I like these. I know that they're comparable to Sharpies, which I don't have a full set of. I'm thinking about using these in more of like my color by numbers, or books that, of course, are one-sided. I don't believe these bled. I have already swatched these out, but I will show you in the swatch of these if they bleed or not. But a really beautiful range of colors, so I'm excited to use these. Then from Walmart, I just picked up a really basic sketchbook. I went ahead and already added a sticker to this one. I want to put stickers all over it actually, but my community on Twitch, you know, keeps saying you should try and paint or try and draw, and so I figured I would buy a sketchbook to try and doodle in or follow tutorials or follow things I see. And I did already do this little doodle that I saw a girl on TikTok post. She did like a little play-by-play of her doodling this, and so I went ahead and tried to follow it, and that's how that turned out. With just, what did I use? I used my Super Tips, Crayola Super Tips, and then a fine liner and some white gel pen for her eyes, and little dots. But yeah, that's what this book's gonna be. It's definitely not mixed media paper, but I might try and use watercolor on it anyways. But yeah, I just wanted something I could have if I did want to try and sketch. So this was just a really cheapy book from Walmart. Last but not least from Walmart is a watercolor pan set. I did pick up that cheapy metallic set from Michael's previously, but I wanted something that wasn't metallic to see if it worked any better. Once again, this isn't high quality, so I'm not expecting the most. I am going to swatch this out in my swatch book, and we'll see how vibrant they are. If you want to see what these ended up looking like, this was, once again, fairly inexpensive, or very inexpensive, for 36 watercolors. Alright, let's jump into the last little bit of things, which are from Amazon. And first and foremost, we have this set of fingerprint ink pads that were purchased as a gift off of my wish list for me. So thank you, Anne. Thank you so much. As much as I love getting coloring books, I also love getting supplies. What I'm going to attempt to do with these is use them kind of like distress inks. They're small, and if I can get one out, they're small little squares just like the distress inks come, and I figure if I really like it, maybe the distress inks are just really expensive, and this set was fairly inexpensive for, geez, it doesn't say on here, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 inks. Like I said, I did test a little bit of the pigmentation, and they seem pretty good. I know they're very vibrant, bright colors, so I don't know how many backgrounds I'll actually get out of them, because they are so bright, and I know the distress inks come in a little bit more muted tones, which are nice. But I wanted to just see if I even enjoyed using ink on my backgrounds, and once again, this was so generously purchased for me. Now I can, and like I said, if I want to really go into inking my backgrounds, I can maybe look into distress inks, but for now I'm going to play around with these. And to go along with that, I purchased the tools I'm going to use for the ink. So I did some research and saw that these are good versus buying the Distress Ink applicator, which is, once again, pretty expensive. As you can see, I already tested out the orange on this one. And it worked really good. It laid down, depending on your pressure, obviously, if it'll leave that kind of first mark on the paper, but these seem to work really well. Like I said, I haven't tested them in an actual coloring book, but they're actually, I believe you can use these for makeup application, but when I looked up ink ink tool. These were readily available and came in different shades and all sorts of things. So I picked up just this 4-piece that has 4 different sizes, this being the tiny one all the way up to the largest blue one. So we'll see if these work. We'll see if I like the ink, but I'm excited to have more things than just pastel to play around with my backgrounds. From Amazon, I also picked up a new brush set, which update in my last haul, my most recent haul, I showed that I picked up a 15-piece set from Michaels, which was like $4.99, $5.99. And these were, actually have one right here, with these brushes. This was awful. As soon as it got wet and started laying down paint, it just started to fray. Hair started to fly out. It was very, very difficult to paint with, and I was thinking that I wouldn't need anything too fancy to do a background, just lay down a large area of color, but those really did not work for me. I would highly not recommend getting them. So I did pick up something still not highest quality or even high quality, but definitely a step up from those. So I'm hoping this will work for me. I can't remember, and I don't believe it says how many brushes are in here. 3, 6, maybe 9, maybe 10 brushes in here. I believe, yeah, it says 10. I believe it was about $16 on Amazon. I'll have everything linked, every single thing I can find linked below in the description if you're interested in anything. Haven't used these, so I can't say, but I think they will be 10 times better, hopefully, than the cheapy Michaels ones. Then from Amazon, I picked up the Stabilo 30 Pen 68. Pen 68 pack of 30. So these are felt tips. A little bit, probably half the size of the Bic Studio, and possibly similar to these, actually, in pen size. I don't know if it says, I can't find it off the top. 1 mm thick, so they are thicker than the Papermate, so that'll be nice. So they won't be identical because some of the shades are pretty similar. These are actually a little finer, but these are just some felt tip pens. Once again, I want to play around with these. I believe I could use these in regular coloring books as well if I wanted more saturated color, or something like that. I think these would be fun for mandalas. These would be fun for color by numbers. I'm just excited to have something that's like a little thinner and a marker type medium I can use in my coloring books. So this is just a Stabilo Pen 68. Once again, I'll link all this stuff down below for you guys if you're interested in any of it. Is this last but not least, I believe, is my Cali Art markers. I finally got a set of alcohol markers. They're not in here. I've removed them and put them in a cute marker situation I have on my desk, but I do have them right here. I honestly have a large array of different alcohol markers on my wish list because I've been very indecisive on which brand I wanted to try out. So I figured I would start with a medium-sized pack. I believe I have the 72 pack. It might have been smaller than that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have it linked below which one I purchased. But I did just start with a medium-sized pack of the Cali Arts. I've heard good things about them. I've seen people use them. I like the way they look, so I figured I would give these a go before I maybe invest in a full set of alcohol markers. So if you haven't seen the Cali Art markers, they are double-sided. One has a broad chisel tip, and the other side is just a fine point tip. This is what the pen looks like, and it just has the shade on both sides. So I'm excited to try them out. I've never used alcohol markers, but I've been really wanting to for certain pages, or if I print out single pages of coloring so that I can do them without ruining the back of my the other side of the page, which is the only downside to using alcohol markers, and I want to practice at them and get better with those. So we'll see if I like Cali Art, and I'll let you guys know. If there's any other suggestions you guys maybe have for your favorite alcohol markers that are on Amazon, because there's so many different brands, let me know in the comments. But like I said, I've heard good things about CaliArt, so if you use these also, let me know how you like them. Alright guys, so we made it to the end of the haul. I am just going to go ahead and jump into some swatches. If you'd like to see how some of these art supplies swatch and perform on paper, definitely stay tuned. Alright, so this is my little swatch book that I have. I got this off of Amazon, which I can link down below for you guys. It just has all my swatches for all the art supplies that I've currently gathered for coloring. So I wanted to show you guys some swatches of the things I shared in the haul. So the first one were those Papermate Flare felt tip pens. I had those swatched out. Very vibrant, very bright, and they did not bleed in this kind of cheap Amazon paper that this book has. Really like those. Next were the Stabilo Pen 68s. That is all the shades in the set that I received. Luckily they were numbered. There's some really bright neons. Now these did shadow a bit, but didn't bleed necessarily. Just a light shadow, nothing awful. The next were the Big Intensity Fine pens. These are super pretty. I love the way these swatched out. So there's all the shades of that set, and these definitely bled quite a bit, which is to be expected. The next were just the cheap watercolor set. I didn't have high hopes for these. They weren't the easiest, or the brightest, or the smoothest, but they were very cheap watercolor sets, so it'll be fun just to play around with those. And last but not least were the Faber-Castell Gelatos. So up here is the metallic set, and down below is the pastel set. So if you can see, the metallics do have quite a nice sheen to them, which will be really beautiful in backgrounds. And then the pastels are very, very pastel, as you'd imagine, but still very pretty colors for like a muted background. And I believe, oh, last were the CaliArt markers. I tried to arrange them in some sort of aesthetically pleasing color arrangement since they were all kind of just jumbled in the bag that you receive. But obviously alcohol markers, so they do bleed heavily onto the back of the page. And there's the rest of those. So yeah, hopefully that helped you a little bit if you were curious on how some of those art supplies swatched or what the shades looked like. I absolutely adore all of them. I'm very pleased with how they swatched and the color selection that I have. So yeah, once again, just a huge thank you. If I mentioned this already, just a huge thank you to anyone who's gifted me anything off of my wish list. It means so, so much. And if you're interested in what I'm interested, I do have my Amazon wish list linked below. If you're curious on just taking a look at the coloring books that I have my eye on, I have so many. And then just a huge thank you for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss another one. Thank you so, 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 so much for being here. I can't wait to see you at the next video or at my next stream. So I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!